Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. I will continue with a few more heart-touching stories from the life of the exalted Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We mentioned about Jamil, but there are so many persecutors of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his companions, his family. They evicted them from their homes, forced them to migrate to Medina. The stories in themselves, each one is quite long, but Aqaba bin Mu'ayt was one of the greatest enemies of the Prophet ﷺ. Whenever he prayed outside the Kaaba, Aqaba bin Mu'ayt would bring a rope tied around the neck of the Prophet ﷺ and start twisting it. Sometimes he would bring the stomach, the entrails of a camel and put them on the back or neck of the Prophet. His little daughter Hazrat Fatima used to run and remove the trash, garbage I would say, from the person of the exalted Prophet, and sometimes a noble companion would do that. Aqaba bin Mu'ayt was captured once in Medina, and the Sahaba Karam wanted to punish him, but Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Let him go." Look at the compassion of Rauf and Rahim. Humility. Look at this. When Masjid Nabawi was being built in Medina, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam joined hands like an ordinary laborer, although the companions Sahaba Karam kept protesting. At that time he also said, "One who wants that people kept standing before him must find his abode in the hellfire." That's how humble he was. He mixed up with people and sat wherever he found a space. Suhail bin Amro was one of the greatest orators of Makkah, Quraysh, and he used to give nasty speeches and poetry in crowds against Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was captured in the Battle of Badr. Some Sahaba Kiram wanted to remove his frontal teeth so that he could not speak eloquently, but Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam forgave him, saying that he was cognizant of the justice of the Almighty. He feared him, his law of requital. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam never in his life he took personal revenge against anyone. To repeat, the Mullahs say, well, he was a prophet, so it was up to him to forgive people. How can we? But the Sunnah is your beloved. Don't you want to follow the example of the greatest man who ever walked this earth? Hinda, one of the staunchest women enemies of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, during the Battle of Uhud, she came under the sword of Hazrat Abu Jandal. He was about to kill her, but Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gestured to him, "No, we do not hurt women." And Muslims, dear brothers and sisters, never hurt any woman, child, old man, animal, crops, even during battles. About Taif, everybody knows that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went there for preaching. It's a town a few miles from Mecca, and Zaid bin Haritha was with him. The leaders of the town, they sent after him very troublesome boys to throw stones upon him, so much so that his feet were bleeding and legs were bleeding. Of course, the body was bleeding, and blood was coagulating, clotting in his shoes. Hazrat Zaid bin Haritha said, "Why don't you pray against them?" He very compassionately said, "No, Zaid, if not these, their future generations might embrace the truth." Subhanallah. Even during the very hard fought battle of Uhud, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was heard praying, "O Allah, please forgive these people, since they know not." Zainab, the wife of Salam, a Jewish lady, was the one who invited Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to dinner and then put poison in his meals. He took one morsel and knew there was poison and stopped eating. He forgave her. Only the next day or 2 days later, there was a Sahabi who died of the same poison, and then Zainab, wife of Salam, had to face the law of the land for murder. Ali bin Hatim came to see Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the meantime, a poor old lady came and he took Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam away to talk in privacy, and he listened to her with all the patience. When he came back, Hazrat Ali said, "Muhammad, I had come to see whether you are a king or you are a prophet. Now I know you are a prophet. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah." Once the funeral of a Jewish man was passing by and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood up. People said, "Ya Rasulullah, this is a Jewish man." And he said, "So what? He was a human being." There are many more stories like this, but let me quickly end. When Makkah was conquered, the conquest of Makkah in 630 Common Era, all Meccans were present. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was there along with thousands of his companions, and the Meccans were wondering what treatment would be given to them. They did say, "You are a gentleman. We expect nothing but good from you." And Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "La tasriba alaykum al-yawm antum muttalaqa." This day, there is no blame on you. You are free to go wherever you want. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa barik wa sallam.